These 20-somethings is a podcast where I'll be sharing my experience as a 20-something-year-old who's trying to navigate this thing called life. I'll be sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, the lessons, the silly thoughts, whatever it is I feel like a 20-something-year-old should know, I will be sharing. This is a space I've created for my other 20-something-year-olds and for them to feel and to know that they are not alone. I am your host, Xoli the Creative, and welcome to these 20-somethings. Hello everyone and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday guys. I hope you're all doing well. And you are relaxed, calm, you're just having a good day. I know last week there was no episode that was released, and that's because so much was happening last week. It was my graduation and I just needed to rest, and the week before my graduation I had like a lot of preparation leading up to my graduation, which was on Saturday. So I really didn't have the time to sit down, plan for the episode, and so that's why there was no episode last week. And also another thing that I want to tell you guys is that there's gonna be a change. So instead of releasing episodes every Sunday, I am going to be releasing episodes twice a month. I feel like that is more realistic for me and my schedule, and I don't want to be drained. You know, I enjoy podcasting and I don't want it to be something that I no longer look forward to because it feels like a chore. I want to do it, and I want to do it wholeheartedly. So I think giving myself rest in between my episodes makes so much sense to me, and I hope you guys will be welcoming to that idea. But otherwise, thank you so much for the love that you guys continue to show me via my Instagram DMs, the reshares, and also WhatsApp. A lot of people share my podcast on their WhatsApp, so very, very, very grateful for that. So yeah, guys, I actually, today's episode funny. Today's episode is more of a venting session from me. Remember, I did tell you guys that this podcast is gonna be filled with a lot of content, and it's gonna be different stuff: the good, the bad, the ugly. And today I'm venting, so I hope you guys are ready for that. But also in just me venting, I'm also gonna be sharing some things that I realized during the season that I'm in. I'm in like my waiting season, and it's basically what I want to vent about. And obviously, while I am in the waiting and I'm going through all these emotions, there are some lessons that are like coming through. So I just want to share those with you. But first, I'm going to vent because why not? Anyway, so this episode, I'm not sure what I'm going to title it, but it's basically, It's basically a venting session about how I've been feeling regarding the timing of my life, the pace I'm moving at. But in as much as I'll be venting, like I said, I'll also be dropping some gems which I've been discovering while I am in this season. The other day I was just thinking to myself that I was very, very sad. Actually, I was very, very sad because it felt like I know that my life is progressing, but I just don't like the pace it's progressing at. I feel like things should be happening, I feel like things should be moving. And a lot of contributing factors are the standards and the expectations I've placed on myself. And I just feel like things are just not going the way I want them to go. Things are just not moving the way I want them to move. Just like I said, I recently graduated, so in my mind last year, while I was thinking about this moment, I was not the specific moment, but like while I was thinking about how my life would be after I graduate, in my mind I was like, I would have had a whole like solid job, and I would be making big bags and whatever. And I do have a job. It's just, it's not what I had envisioned for myself. It's not what I had in mind for myself. And it's a wonderful job. I love it. It's amazing. But it's just not what I initially had in mind. So that made me feel like, hi man, Impilo is not moving the way I wanted to move. There are certain seeds that I've planted and I'm still yet to see them grow. I'm still yet to see them grow into the fruits that I want them to be. But also, I realized that God has been, so I have notes, so I've written notes, because I wanted to be very intentional about this session or about this episode. So yeah, but also at the same time, I think God has been very intentional, and because He knows me and how my life has been set up, He has put up all sorts of help and tools in place to help me get through whatever I'm going through. And looking at it, this is gonna sound very cliche, but like, how people always say we all have, in life there are 4 seasons. There's summer, winter, spring, and autumn, and all those seasons look different, and all those seasons bring out different traits in us, or just different attributes in us, right? And I feel like no season stays the same forever. Seasons change, and with that you also grow as a person. And I feel like even though I don't like the season that I'm in, I don't hate it, but like, it's just not my ideal season. Like, if we're young, things will be sunny all the time, but like, that also wouldn't be beneficial for me because I wouldn't be growing. So I know that in each season that I'm in, each season teaches me something about myself. It teaches me something about God, and it teaches me something about His promises. So for instance, I planted the seeds of wanting to be a director when I was 11. And I've been speaking about this. When I was 11, that's when I had like the idea of being a director, and that's when I believe the seed in me was planted. And from grade 5, because I was 11, so from grade 5 until last week Saturday, the seed had been growing, and I only saw the results of the seed on Saturday when I actually graduated. And I feel like the seed is growing, and I'm still gonna see more of its benefits and more of its fruits when I actually get into the industry, when I actually get to do what what I want to do. But like, for the fact that a seed that was planted years ago, its fruits started showing last week Saturday when I finally walked across that stage, and I was like, yo, I actually achieved this dream of mine. So all those years of waiting and all those years of me getting to a point of walking across the stage, there were a lot of things that were happening. There were a lot of lessons that were happening as well. And it wasn't just I dream today and then tomorrow I get what I want. Like, I had to work to get to that point. I had to work to ensure that I maintain this dream, and I do everything in my power to meet God halfway. Because 2 weeks ago with the other episode, I did speak about how God plants seeds in us, but also He wants us to kind of meet Him halfway, and then He'll also do His part. So some seeds are just, they take longer for the fruits to show. And yes, it's difficult, and I'm going through that right now. I'm just like, God, there are these seeds that I've planted, but like, when am I seeing the results? But just like thinking about last week Saturday and how a seed that was planted years ago, I saw some of its fruits on Saturday. It's just something that got me thinking. So I hope it also gets you thinking that some seeds will obviously grow quicker than others, and others will obviously take longer. And in the process of those seeds growing, there's so much for you to learn. And also, I think we rush too much to get to the finish line that we miss out on the journey. That we miss out on some of the like beautiful moments that happen in between you planting the seed and the finish line. So something for you and me to think about. Think about the many proverbs and lessons that have been said in the Bible to help you. And funny thing is that they come to you when you need to hear them the most. God literally comes through for his children when he knows that they need him at that specific point. Like, God is always on time with literally like with help. He knows what you need and he meets you at your point of need. Love him for that. Something to think about. Also another thing, I don't know if you guys know, but when I was in grade 11, I'm getting emotional. When I was in grade 11, my dad and I were involved in an accident, in a taxi accident in the morning, on my way to school and him on his way to work. Guys, that accident actually changed my life. We're both okay now, but like back then we were not okay. And I remember that morning when the accident happened, I had to leave him where the accident happened because he was stuck. So they had to get like, that thing, I don't even know what they call it, but like that thing where they have to cut the taxi to get him out because he was stuck under the taxi and the truck. So I left him there, and then I went to the hospital, and then they were like, you're gonna meet your dad here at the hospital. Okay, fine. And then later on he came to the hospital, and then luckily I only got like stitches on my face. We were actually not badly hurt, but he obviously had to stay. He had to get admitted at the hospital because they just had to monitor him because he was stuck under the truck and the taxi. Yeah, So I remember when my mom came to fetch me, because obviously I was not admitted, so I had to go back home. So I remember when my mom came to fetch me at the hospital, and I was going through Instagram, and I came across this post. It was a very long post, and I don't remember what it, like the exact words, but I do remember it said, God is done working. Because God is the beginning and the end. God knows your beginning, and he also knows how your end would look like. So I've always carried that close to my heart, and I've always believed that God is done working. All that, everything that my life contains, or basically God is done writing my life story. Like, God is just done writing my story, but he's helping me walk through it as well. So he wrote the beginning, and he also wrote the end, but in between there are so many other moments that he's helping me walk through so that I can get to my end, the end that he wrote for me. Which is why I think being obedient to God is very important, because that kind of helps guide you through life. Because if you listen to the one that created and wrote your story, you are definitely gonna get to that point where you are gonna get like your ending, like the ending that God intends for you to have. You are gonna get it if you just listen to him and obey him. And obviously the walk to that ending is not easy, and I'm not, like, to be honest, I'm not looking forward to my ending. I'm really not. I just want to live life and just do the most or whatever. And whenever I get to my ending, I really want to get there having had lived my life. So okay, so let me read the note that I wrote. God is done working. He's the beginning and the end. So he knows, so he has been to your end. He knows how your end will look like, and he has set all the tools to help you to get to them. I think it's also important that we let him know that we are willing to listen and invite him in. I think the end also just doesn't mean the end of your life, but the end of how each seed will look like. So we plant seeds and we want our lives to look a certain way, but I think inviting God and letting him know that I'm willing to let you have your way with me. I'm willing to let you take me where you want to take me, and I'm willing to let my life unfold the way you have written it. I'm not writing my own life story. I'm not. I'm just a co-creator, you know, and I'm willing to walk with you, and so that you can, like, you'll be able to help me to get through these tough times where I'm not understanding why my seeds are taking so long to grow. Why are my seeds taking so long to grow, Lord? And yo, guys, and I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think having Instagram and just like, or not even Instagram per se, but like social media, it kind of adds to the anxiety and the frustration of, you know, when you see other people and it's like, yo, but like, we started together, you know, and they doing that, and I'm not even like there yet, like, you know. And it's just, obviously, I feel like those things are, feeling like that is normal, or it is okay rather, just as long as you don't let it consume you, you know. So I think for me, I'm at that point where, like, I do want certain things to happen for me. I do want to, you know, get my own apartment. I do want to get my own, like, you know, like, car and whatever. And I think it will happen when it's time for it to happen, but also it won't just magically happen if I also don't put in the work, if I don't play my part, and if I don't meet God halfway. So yeah, so also just like taking social media breaks does help, and in terms of not like just blocking the world, and look within and just spend time with yourself, and just be still, you know, still, just be still. Just be still, and just look within. And I think sometimes looking at other people just does distract us a bit, so just like looking within, being still in the presence of God does help. I also wrote other notes. Planting seeds today won't let them grow tomorrow. Let's be realistic, please. Because even like when you plant actual seeds, they don't grow the next day, you know. It takes time depending on what fruit it is. Like how we have Islasla Sama benches, we have a peach tree, and we planted it I think last year, and it still doesn't have fruits yet, but it's growing, but it doesn't have fruits yet. So it's like these things take time. Yesterday I was also listening to Mpumi and Brandon's podcast, and Mpumi said, situations change, things do change, but I do feel, she said situations change, things do change. You won't stay in the same place forever. And then I'm adding my own, you know, spice in there. I do feel like we play a huge part in helping and pushing for change to happen. If you want to see change happen, you gotta make the moves. You know, change won't just happen with you just sitting around and doing nothing. Plant the seeds and work and take the necessary steps to watering those seeds. And this looks different for everyone, so I don't really wanna tell people how to water their seeds and whatnot. You know your story, you know what seeds you've planted, and I think at the end of the day, you know how you will make them grow. Also, another thing, and another question to ask yourself is to just think about how, are you even ready for your seeds to bloom? Like, are you prepared, you know, to receive that blessing? Are you prepared to receive the fruit of your seeds, you know? So again, it goes back to what I was just saying, that like you need to push for change to happen. You need to make sure that when that plant grows, you are ready, you know. And I was telling my sister, because that's her tree, the Isla Sama benches that we have is her tree. And I'm like, dude, you gotta be ready for the maintenance of that tree because it's yours, so obviously we'll help where we can, but at the end of the day, that is your baby and you need to take care of it. And you need, by the time we see fruits growing from that tree, you need to be ready to be able to maintain and prune and do all that stuff to that tree. So something to also think about. Preparation is key. In primary, I used to be, in high school and primary, I used to be a great public speaker. I was amazing, guys. I was amazing. I even have certificate. I used to do poetry. I used to, do poetry in front of parents. We used to go compete in other schools. I was amazing. But I think with that came a lot of preparation. I prepared. My dad used to help me prepare. We used to be in his bedroom, and he would help me prepare, and write down notes. We would literally prepare for my public speaking events. And even after I grew older, I started doing stuff on my own, obviously, because he then had to give more of his attention to my siblings because they were now growing up and whatever. But because I could now take care of myself, I was able to do things for myself. So I would prepare on my own. Preparation is definitely key. Prepare for your seed and prepare for your blessing. In closing, there's a verse in the Bible that speaks about how everything has been made beautiful in its time. Everything, guys, everything has been made beautiful in its time. And let me quickly find this. Let me quickly find it. Okay, I can't find it. But everything has just been made beautiful in its time. It's just all about putting in the work and praying, and it's just waiting in faith. And our waiting is never in vain. Your waiting is never in vain. So that is all I have for today. This is actually our longest episode. Child, this is, guys, I always say that these episodes are also for myself. Do you know that? These episodes, they're also for myself. There are things that I want to hear. There are things that I need to hear. And so I hope this episode finds you when you need to hear it the most. And I hope that you guys are okay. And if you're not okay, just like me, things are gonna be okay eventually. Things will fall into place. Tough times don't last. I know that's cliche, but tough times don't last forever. I promise you. Situations change. I've seen it before. I've seen God work things in my favor before, and I know He's gonna do it again. And thank you so much, guys, for listening to my episode. Please don't forget to share. Guys, we need to build our community, and I can't do it alone. So please do share this episode with your family, your friends, colleagues, just whoever is available to listen to my podcast. Please give them the link and access to do so. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate all of you. I hope you all have a good week, and see you guys in the next 2 weeks, because next week I'm not releasing an episode. I'm only gonna release that following week. Otherwise, ngiyanithanda kakhulu, guys, and I hope you have a good week. Bye.